I walked into a store recently and stood still, not because I was confused, but because the experience genuinely moved me. The space felt like it understood me. The lighting was warm but purposeful. The product wasn't stacked to the ceiling in a triumph of inventory logistics. There was room to breathe, to linger, and to discover. A sales associate greeted me with a question that felt uncannily relevant to why I was there. I later learned their team uses behavioral data to inform how staff open conversations. No hard sell. Just a meaningful start. That moment crystallized something I had been observing across hundreds of retail engagements over 20 years. The store of the future isn't coming. It's already here. The retailers building it aren't chasing technology for its own sake. They are obsessing over something far more elusive, how it feels to be a human being inside their four walls. The death of the transaction. For most of retail's modern history, the store was a place to complete a transaction. You needed something, you went somewhere, and you exchanged money for goods. The formula was reliable until it wasn't. E-commerce didn't just move transactions online, it exposed how thin that model truly was. If a store exists only to sell things, it will lose to a warehouse with a great website. The smartest retailers I advise begin asking a different question: what can a physical space do that a screen cannot? The answers: community, sensory experience, serendipitous discovery, and trust built through human connection have become the blueprints for thriving stores. One home goods retailer I worked with reduced its SKUs by 40% and replaced the floor space with a workshop area. On any given Saturday, customers find themselves learning to arrange seasonal botanicals or refinish a piece of furniture. Sales per square foot went up. Customer lifetime value increased even more. The product hadn't changed. The reason to show up had. Space as a medium. I've started encouraging clients to think like editors, not merchants. A store is not a catalog. It is a curated point of view, a physical argument about what matters and why. Every square foot communicates something about the brand's values, the customer's aspirations, and the relationship between the two. I spent time with a wellness retailer whose new flagship is shockingly sparse by conventional standards. Walk in, and you won't find wall-to-wall product. You'll find 5 things, beautifully lit, with generous space around each. Associates talk about provenance, ingredient philosophy, and the specific problem each product solves. The store converts sales remarkably well, not despite this restraint, but because of it. Customers feel educated, not sold to. That is an enormous distinction. Scent, sound, and texture are no longer afterthoughts in the design conversations I'm part of. Operators are developing proprietary sensory signatures the same way they develop logos. I've sat in briefings where a creative director spends as much time on a space's acoustic profile as on fixture placement. These are stores designed to be felt, not navigated. The associate renaissance. If there is one area where I see the most consequential transformation, it is in how leading retailers think about their people. Traditionally, retailers treated associates as costs to be minimized, wages to compress, and perfunctory training and turnover was inevitable. Those retailers are struggling. The ones ascending are doing the opposite. One apparel company client rebuilt its floor model around specialist hosting. The company hires associates for their genuine knowledge in relevant domains: outdoor adventure, movement, and sustainable living. They receive deep training and latitude to make real recommendations rather than follow a script. Satisfaction scores climbed, and so did tenure. When people feel expert and trusted, they stay. Technology enables this renaissance rather than replacing it. Handheld tools surface a customer's purchase history before an associate approaches them. Back-of-house systems handle inventory tasks that once consumed hours. The result is more time for human interaction. The one thing no technology can replicate, and the one thing customers crave. Convenience is table stakes. Meaning is the differentiator. There is a persistent narrative that the future belongs to frictionless scan-and-go convenience, same-day delivery, and endless aisles. I am not dismissing these capabilities. But convenience alone has never built a loyal customer base. It builds habituated customers. Habits break the moment a more convenient option emerges. Meaning is stickier. A customer who feels seen, delighted, or genuinely welcomed comes back not out of inertia but desire. The stores I consider true vanguards are engineering for that emotional outcome with the same rigor others apply to supply chain optimization. I recently sat with a grocery operator who reimagined the back corner of their stores as a neighborhood gathering